Coach.
Coach, long game. Obviously, when you guys got it to overtime, how confident? Well, there was still work to be done, but did you guys feel pretty confident there in overtime?
Yeah, it was almost new life. I mean, it was a struggle in regulation, and the second half we were right there, and I just didn't want to be like satisfied about the overtime. So it was, pretty stern talk, in that break of, now it's time to go. Like now it's time to really play, and I think it was important we scored the first points in the second half, the overtime period, and we really had a great 5 minutes there.
Coach, can you kind of walk us through the last play in regulation and kind of what you saw from your perspective?
Yeah, I mean, when you're up 3, you're sometimes worried about the other team fouling, and what I told AJ is to push the ball with great pace. And I thought they might foul him, but on the wings we had Jason and we had Tyler Nickel, and as he crossed half court, I was like, get a 3, and I didn't know where it was going to come or who was going to come to, but we didn't want a 2 in that situation. And AJ described it perfectly that he drew the defense, and then Tyler Nickel found the window there, and as soon as it got to his hands, I think we were all confident.
What about Tyler Nickel and his shot making really just makes you so confident that when he catches it in that situation, it's going to go in?
I've kind of seen his shot a lot, and I can see the rhythm when he catches it, and something that's difficult, for any player, but sometimes guys that are labeled shooters is he didn't get off to a good start. I mean, they were all over him, with not letting him catch and denying his catches, and he found some openings in the second half, and I talk to guys all the time. You got to have an unbreakable confidence, and you can't let the circumstances affect your confidence. And he has an unbreakable confidence. He doesn't care.
3 straight wins against ranked opponents, one on the road last week, obviously, and then now this one. How big is that for you guys to really not just be playing your best basketball in March, but doing it against some of the better teams in the country right now?
Yeah, this was brought to my attention today that we've played 6 ranked teams in a row, and 7 out of 8. I don't know if anybody else goes through these situations, but with all of them, it's hard to say this after you lose, but I thought we were playing well. And I thought we could have had the Tennessee game, and Kentucky played great, but then losing to these teams is difficult, but you gotta make sure that you're focused on the right thing, and it's next and keep getting better. And she's 3 ranks in a row, but it's really 6 in a row, and it's not any easier. Tuesday night, it's a team coming in. It's got a bunch of guys that are future NBA players, and a great coach, and so what we got to do is just go to the next one. Try to go 1-0 on Tuesday. I've talked to the guys already about our mentality is we're not satisfied, probably with our stability of being in the NCAA tournament. We need to keep getting better, and position ourselves for the SEC tournament and the highest we possibly can get to. Try to make a run in that tournament, and then when the selection committee decides where we want to go, we'll try to make a run in that tournament.
Coach, it feels like the situational substitutions have really helped lead to wins, whether it's offense or defense. Have you had a season like this before, where you've had to sub like this? It feels unique, situationally.
Nah, this is probably the most of my 12 years of coaching. It is trying to find the right guy in a situation. You don't want to over sub. Unfortunately, sometimes foul trouble has put me in those situations. But it is sometimes putting the best group, going with your gut instinct or past experiences and try to put them in the best situation.
With DJ Hogard, the month he had in February that he mentioned, just kind of how were you coaching him through it? How fulfilling was it to see him do what he did today?
Yeah, it was a point of our meeting a couple of days ago. Now, I was really proud of his character in the last win, and that's not easy. But if you go back and watch the film, watch how he's cheering on his teammates. Watch how he's happy for their success. And that karma comes back. So, of course, he's going to be successful. And we just tried to build him up the last couple of days. I had an assistant coach watch all the good things he's doing. We know that he can do some things better than what he is, but he's a high-level player. He cares about his teammates. He's fallen in love with Vanderbilt, and we're going to need him in March. He said it. We're going to need him in March.
Tyler Tanner gave you some pretty strong minutes, a couple of big buckets, and made some nice defensive play. Talk about his game.
Yeah, I mean, it's not unusual. Tyler Tanner always gives us a boost. And I think he's figuring out the SEC a little bit more as he goes along. And the last game, I couldn't take him off the court. Tonight, Chris was playing so well and AJ was playing so well, probably affected his minutes, but I trust him. He's 18 years old, and I trust him in these situations, and he'll be back out there again.
I know you've talked about this team's resiliency. We've seen it a few times, especially throughout this SEC stretch. What do you feel like it is about the makeup of this team that just kind of gives them that ability when their backs are against the wall?
Well, we got something to prove, and that's a great motivator. I'm finding guys, and we talked about the NCAA tournament. We talked about this league, and some people want to run from the challenge of this league. They want to run from the competition. It like I said, 6 straight ranked teams. Nobody else is going through that besides the SEC. So what that does is it kind of figures out how strong you are, how good you are. And you better learn along the way, and these guys are doing it. We make mistakes, we learn from them, and they got more to prove, and now we got 20 wins, but this is not something where we ran across the finish line. Like, it's still in front of us.
Quick turnaround. I assume rest is going to be a priority heading into Arkansas.
Yeah, these Tuesday games, and so we go Wednesday, Saturday, Tuesday, and that, we've done that before, and that is a hard stretch. Luckily, we're at home. 9 o'clock game. That's not my favorite. I'm going to need extra coffee on Tuesday. But if the crowd's like that, that's going to give us energy, and it's the last time we play in this building. So I know we want to play well, and I know we want to keep going.
You talked about concern about the bubble. Do you feel like you're off the bubble, and do you feel like you've got some momentum going into the SEC tournament? And this is your hometown. You've had great crowd support. You feel like that will carry over to the tournament?
Yeah, I'm hoping the crowd does carry over to the SEC tournament. Now we do travel. My mom told me if we win today, we're in the NCAA tournament. So she's my bracketologist.
Do you feel like the trip to Starbucks would be a little easier for you now that you're not on the bubble and you constantly having to hear that chatter?
Yeah, I mean, it is funny. I shouldn't have said that because now it gets said it to me even more. This team's done a good job in a position, to take that pressure off, and now we can focus on just getting better and trying to win the games. And look, it's not fun being on the bubble. It's not fun having all those things because there's no one's going to have a conversation with you without bringing it up. I just learned that, and then it's the same way with our guys. So now we're past that, and it's figure out how to keep improving, and I know we got some areas where we can get better at, and then try to make a run these last 2 games, SEC, and then try to make a run down to Bridgestone.
I think y'all shot 67% in the second half and then like 80% in overtime. What helped y'all turn things around offensively?
Yeah, well, we were in the first half. It was frustrating for me as a coach because we were playing east and west. We were going sideways, and they were switching things, and we couldn't get to the paint. And we finally figured out the way that we were going to be successful was to attack off the drive and try to get our feet into the paint and then make the decisions after there. So we were trying to put guys in different situations, and guys made plays too. AJ made some tough shots, but they were learning to play off of that, and it was a much better offense performance, like you said, in the second half and overtime because there was some spotty play in the first half.
Any final question?
All right, thanks, guys.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.